Hello, hello. I'm Andrew Sweatman for No Rest for the Weekend, and today I've got a review of an indie crime drama called The Ghost Who Walks, directed by Cody Stokes. The Ghost Who Walks follows Nolan, played by Garland Scott, who is getting out of prison at the beginning of this movie, and we quickly learn that he's very unpopular because he ratted out his crime boss to get out of jail early, and they are furiously hunting him down to kill him. We also learn why he wanted out of jail so badly. He has a daughter that he's never met, and he's desperate to start a new life with her and her mother Lena, played by Alexia Rasmussen. The whole movie takes place in just a few days, as Nolan tries to evade the hitmen on his trail and escape with Lena and his daughter Amy. Oh, and also, this whole thing takes place at Christmas time. This movie is frenetic and intense. It reminded me of Good Time by the Safdie brothers, but it also slows down quite a bit to allow for some quieter human moments. For instance, right in the middle of the movie is a meeting Nolan has with a crime boss named Dunya, played by Linda Kennedy. She tells him a folktale. It's a really nice moment. It's about a ghost, and it kind of parallels his story, and it gives this movie its title. Director Cody Stokes is also really good with the camera, moving it along with the performers and the action in a way that's sometimes unexpected. There's one really stunning action scene towards the beginning where a home invasion is captured in a single shot. The camera's whipping from room to room, showing all the things that's happening, people busting in doors. It's really a thrilling set piece. The cast give strong performances, including the lead, Garland Scott, though he definitely seems best suited to scenes where he's brooding or fighting. He has a great face for a gritty movie like this, and he has some skill in action scenes, but he didn't quite make the strongest impression in the scenes that required some emotional vulnerability. The biggest performance in the film, the loudest performance, is by Frank Mosley as Stitches. He's one of the few people left in the criminal world who hasn't completely disowned Nolan for being a rat. And he's a loudmouth and a lowlife, but Mosley imbues him with an enormous sense of humor and a surprising amount of pathos. Notable also is Dasha Nekrasova, who plays Mitzi. She's a prostitute that Nolan ends up befriending. She's the most memorable character in this movie, despite her character being a little bit underwritten, but she and Nolan form a makeshift father-daughter relationship that serves to bring some emotion and some lightness amidst this otherwise pretty heavy film. What doesn't completely work about The Ghost Who Walks is the screenplay. While the dialogue is really strong, the plot has some head-scratching moments and some character motivations that aren't quite clear, and those things are never resolved. There's also a few emotional moments that don't quite land, including the final conversation between Nolan and Mitzi. Their goodbye is really sweet, but the emotion that it goes for doesn't feel completely earned. Another issue is the action scenes, which are passable, but none of them ever return to the glory of that initial home invasion scene that I mentioned. There are some blocking issues in a couple of the fight scenes that make them feel unrealistic, and they kind of pull you out of the story. One more thing I should mention is just how dark and gritty this film is, which is not a problem in itself, but sometimes it doesn't serve the overall story, and it seems kind of gratuitous or edgy for the sake of being edgy, which again, that's okay, but this movie is not for everyone. You might feel like you need to take a shower after you watch it. Despite its issues, The Ghost Who Walks is a compelling indie action movie, and it doesn't have to be Christmas time for you to enjoy it. It will appeal mostly to action lovers, but strong direction, solid performances, and thrilling premise make this a good one to catch on Netflix, especially if you love action.